So here we are, live and at the scene, testing the new locking system. Will not work. Let's have a look at the, yeah, that looks all right. Can we look downwards at the same time? This is moving, yeah. So let's, I need two hands. I need one hand to do this. Hold that up there. Can you see the end there? Not quite. The camera is too much. There we are. Now let's see. Yeah, the door opens. Lovely jubbly. So I've got no worries about that. We're going to work on the door today, by the way. I've put a spring on there now. Put that spring. Oh, it won't work because that's. Let's bring that back, yeah. Took the weight out of there. Put the spring on. Well, anyway. Today, do you know how you've done something and you're not really happy with it and you want to do it better? Got quite technical today. So, do you remember we made this one, didn't we? We used one of these big bolts, didn't we? We used that threaded bolt, one of them big ones, and we stuck it inside a scaffolding tube and welded it on the end. And then we made ourselves sort of a key. We put a slot in the top of it and made like a key, which allows us to turn that. There's a good way and a not so good way. There's two ways of fitting that lock. One fits really good. There we are, see, just watch how it just slots in. You know when it's in there, it just slots down in. So you'll remember what we made. Is this gonna, yeah. Remember what we made. And there's the screw. So this screws downwards, which pushes on that. So basically what it's doing is turning a southern movement, it's turning a downwards movement around the other side of the door into an upwards movement, which is then pushing this shaft upwards into the keep. Well, you know, the keep wasn't very good to begin with, so we've got that to do. So we've got to work on that. Now, I've never, because it's in that edge of the door, it's not really effective. So we've got to transfer that movement, that up and down movement, along a shaft here and up into a shaft here, so it locks it there. So it locks it there. So that's today's project, is to, let's just wind this back down. Or in, I should say. You see? Leave that in. And remember, it was only a spanner, wasn't it? An old spanner with a nut on the end of it. So that now has brought that. So we've got to fix that keep. We've got to make this a much tidier, much better thing. Take this off, do a better job here. Make that more accurate. But at the same time, we've got to try and bring a shaft across here. So we know we can connect to the door because we've made these keeps, look. So whatever we want, we know we can just bolt straight through the bracket here. So we've got a good fixing. So we know we're going to have a bolt head to work with, and then we can weld whatever we want to make whatever we want on the end here. But we're gonna, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm not mathematical. I think it's going to be a case of make it, see why it doesn't work, and then remake it again. Do you remember me telling you about these turning an up and down into a left and right, and a left and right into an up and down? Well, I've been thinking I can use these. That's better, look. So I can weld something here and weld something there. Let me find the nut that fits there, because do you know, as we've done here, this is just a nut screwed on a thread, that is. Do you see how we've done that there? We've managed to make that move and at the same time keeping it in control, and all it is a nut on a thread holding it. This is the same here, look. This is just a nut and a thread. So we know, you know, we don't need a bearing, or we don't need a sleeve, or we don't need anything like that. All we need is a nut on a bolt. Weld something to the nut. Now you can make something move, can't you? Yeah. It's a lot more reliable than having, see, this bigger thing over a smaller thing. That's not ideal. That's not the best way to do it, because it'll foul and get into bother. It's friction, isn't it? But if you want a frictionless thing to work, all you have to do is put it as it would work, a nut and a bolt. That's just a nut. That's just a nut and a bolt and an attachment to the nut. So we're going to do that. So we're going to make one. We're going to make that fit the side. So we're going to make, I'll show you in a minute how we're going to change up and down to left and right to up and down. And then we'll go from there. So let me make one of these. Let me find the right thread for this. Let me make a connection to the door. How we're going to make it. How far is it going to stand off? Because it's got to stand off a little bit, hasn't it? So we can get the movement, and then I'll come back to you. So a lot more technical today, I think. This is pretty simple. This is just pretty simple. This is just up and down. So I'm quite looking forward to it. Let's go and let's try a bit. Let's do a few pieces and see how it's going to work. So we found our thread for here. We found the right bolt. We now, obviously you don't want to put a big bolt, make a big hole, all the rest of it. So now we've got to make this fit onto there now. And we've got our standoff, so we can make it come away from the, we can make it stand off so we've got room to move. So let's just get on with this first and see what we look like. So you remember these? They were all rusted up and seized, weren't they? And then we put them in the vise and we undid them and we cleaned them and we put them in the stores. Well, today we're going to rob two old nuts off them. We're going to do what we want with them. So even if you've got a rusty old nut and bolt that you take it home, you clean it up, you clean the thread up, it's okay, and you're thinking, well, I can never see a use for them. I don't think I'll be using them anytime soon, but you just never know what bits you want to rob off them. So we're going to rob these two nuts out of the jar of rusty old nuts and bolts that we revived. We took quite a bit of time, didn't we? They were all in a row here and they were on the vise, and then we're slacking them off and cleaning them and wire brushing them and put them in the stores. See, everything comes in. Okay, I know eventually. And it's now eventually time we're going to use them. So we want to put this in the middle of there. We want to convert this to that, but you know, trying to get it dead on in the middle, holding it there, clamping it, you know, you never know. So what we're going to do, we're going to cheat. We're going to use an old rusty nut that we got. We're going to put that onto there, and we're going to put it in the vise. And because the vise holds it together like that, it's got no choice but to be dead level. And then we're going to get this, and we're going to put that in there, because actually we're going to clamp it the other way. We're going to do this first. We're going to clamp that in the vise like that. Make sure it's dead level, sit it in there, clamp that on there, weld that on there. And then we're going to get this, and we're going to weld this onto there. Again, put it in the vise. Again, clamp it together. It's got no choice. it will be dead level. So we'll end up building something like this. So we can connect through to the door, and we'll have this on the end, and then on the end of here we'll have our direction changing bit. That's the plan anyway. So that's the cheat, how to weld something dead straight and dead level on the end of a nut. I'll file that down a bit, whop that on there. So nice cup of tea, put a bit of music on, and let's make that then. Let's make that. So whenever you're clamping, see, I've clamped it like this. It can't only be in there straight now, can't it? It's not going to be crooked. It can't be crooked. So and we always protect it, put a nut, it's halfway in, so you're not going to knacker the end of this thread here, because it's about halfway in. So we've got to leave a protection always, and just push it in as tight as you want, and we'll just touch it here with a weld and touch it there with a weld, and then we can bring it out and finish it off. So here we are now, look, it's clamped in the vise. It can only be in the middle, can't be anywhere else, and that's nice and level there, look. So yeah, looking pretty good, looking pretty good. So I don't know how the camera is going to react to this flash. You might see it, you might not. I kill the camera on the phone. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld it, and at the same time, look, I'm going to turn it round. So hopefully it'll be just like doing a run. That's the plan anyway. So let's get this thing started. They're pretty damp rods. They're a bit of a bitch to get going, but once they get going, they're all right. Right, here we go. Oh dear, give myself a flash. Can't see a damn thing. Woo! That's the trouble. Come on. That's the trouble with old rods. They like to mess you about. Come on. Don't start. Once you get going, you're all right, but don't get trapped on it. Here, over the way. We are. We're on our way now. You can't see with the damn. Oh, that one's pretty much done. Look. Oh yeah. That'll do us. That'll do us. We'll do the other one. I wonder what did the camera see? So one of the most important things to remember is when you're making parts, always chill the part that you've just used. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to put this down now. If that was just welded and it was red hot, so easy to just put it down there. Come and you do your other part, and then go to grab that, and it hasn't cooled, and you can get yourself some right nasty burns. You should wear gloves. Gloves generally protect you, but I always try and always quench everything. When I finish with it, I quench it instantly. Get yourself in the habit of quenching stuff, so that when you put it to one side and work on something else, that isn't there sitting waiting to burn the hell out of you. No, because you know, we've all done that from time to time. So we'll put this on the wire wheel, and we'll, luckily, see there's a groove in here, so this is going to be a good weld. That's just going to clean up no end. It's going to clean up lovely. So this will come through the door, and that'll be the other end, and that's how that's going to work there. So so far so good. We ain't got to the technical bit yet. So the reason I've put my second glove on now is because when you're just tacking it, it's okay. Well, I picked that up. It was barely just bearable to pick up to put into the bucket of water. But I know I've got quite a long run here, and that is going to be piping hot. That's going to create a lot of heat, and I won't be able to grip this. That'll take your skin off, especially thread like this. It leaves the thread mark in burn marks on you if you grab a red hot thread. This will be red hot, but of course the heat will transfer up to here, won't it? So I'll go to undo it. So I'm going to put my gloves on. I've put my gloves on now because I know this is going to be glowing red hot. Right, both gloves on for this job. Let's see how we get on. Now it's started, it'd be no problem, I wouldn't have thought. Unless it just wants to mess up with me, as it does sometimes. Well, we've got going now. See, that end is going to be way too hot to touch now. Just a bit more there. I've got a bit of a rod here. It's not in very good condition. I don't expect it's going to do well. It's going to be enough to get on there. Come on! Don't stop. Good. That's done. You should have good ventilation. Right, so before we do anything else, the rules are we don't cool this off straight away. Come on, trying to kill the phone. So now we're going to make them look pretty. They look they look pretty ugly now, don't they? But most of that's clinker. Yeah, and because I know there was a groove between the two of them, I know the weld has gone in there, so I can afford to grind anything I don't want on there off, and it'll still grip. Let's have a look. So the aim of the game is just get it to stick together. Okay, don't look very pretty. If you wanted to go back and weld a few places, fine. I've got a dribble there, haven't I? That I've put a bit too much on. I can grind that off. So it don't take much to tidy them all up again. So we'll hit that with a stone. We've cleaned it up a bit more. But I ain't going to weld no more because all it's doing is holding that there, isn't it? So you see, you can soon clean it up. It looks horrendous when you do it, But look, you can seam clean it up if you want to. Make a nice tidy job. If you wanted to, if it was really strong, you wanted to re-weld that up, you could do. So I won't. And then, of course, there's always paint you can shove in the hole when you paint it. But I'm not going to do none of that. That's all I want it to do, is stick out the end of the door. So we can now start to think about this. So that's stuck to the door now, don't we? We know that's stuck to the door. So we can now start thinking about this. Turning an up and down into an in and out. And am I going to make them the same length to begin with, or am I going to put one end shorter? I think what happens, we've got to see what fouls, what causes the trouble. So we'll put one here, we'll put one there, and then we'll try and figure out if something needs to be longer or shorter. So let's weld a bolt here and a bolt there now. So I was going to use these nice little short ones to put on, but I've decided I'm going to use the longer ones because it's always easier to cut something off than what it is to add on. So I know these are going to be way too long, but it's much easier to cut something off than to find out that you've got to make it stretch, or you've got to make something reach something. So yeah, they're a bit OTT long, but they can always be cut down. It's not always easy to add a bit on. Imagine doing that and then get yourself in a situation where you need it 10 millimeters longer. How are you going to stretch that once you've welded it on here? So yeah, I'm going to go long with the intention to cut it down. Yeah. So, can you see? We're turning an up and a down into a left and a right. Or we're turning a left and a right into an up and a down. Wow, this is the devil's work. This is the devil's work. So we can have them working downwards, and all we have to do is turn this around and we can have it working upwards, whatever way we want to, however we want to do it. So we can convert this up and a down movement into a left and a right movement. So conversely, the other side, we can change a left and a right movement into an up and a down movement. Ooh, it's the devil's work. It's the devil's work. We're changing nature right in front of your very eyes. A left and a right into an up and a down, and a up and a down into a left and a right. North, south, east and west. This is the devil's work. And can you see, look, once that's in the door, and once this is on here, because it's the thread, look, that's going to work lovely. A drop of oil now and again. If you're that way inclined, you'd drill a little hole in there, drill it through, and then occasionally put a drop of oil in there if you were that way inclined. Or even a grease nipple. You'd put a grease nipple in there, wouldn't you? Anyway, I'm quite pleased. So, are we going to work above ourselves and have the linkage go above, or are we going to work below ourselves and make the linkage work, swap it around, make the linkage work below? That's the next thing to figure out. See, that could push the shaft along, which would then push the pin into the roof. We're getting there. So we're going to dispense with this. We're going to get rid of this. It's a bit floppy and wobbly. So what we'll do is we'll put this in the same hole. We'll fit that in there, and we'll make a bar across here to hold this in place. Stop this wobbling. and we've got to make sure we go above here so we don't foul it. So the linkage is going to be above, I think. Yeah. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this shaft go up and down whilst engaging with this? I suppose the easiest way would just to put a pair of tongs, you know, two bar that way, just up and down. Or can we make the same sort of connection as this? A nice good connection. How are we going to make this go up and down, make a universal sort of a joint here? Well, the good thing is I've got a piece of bar here. Right here, so we've got the same piece of bar. So we can put that on the bench. And we've got the size of the bolts we want. We've got a bolt going this way, haven't we? So we can play on the bench now, can't we? We can figure it out. What are we going to do? How are we going to make that and that work together? Leave it with me. Leave it with me. I'll try and make up a plan. How can we make that? Because of course it's not just up and down. This will go at an angle, won't it? So it's got to swivel in there. Whilst keeping a grip and whilst having enough shove, enough power to push through it without bending anything. How the hell are we going to do that now? Anybody got any ideas? Anybody got any ideas? We've just got to walk around now and think. We've just got to walk around and think. So, this welder nut on the end of there. Welder nut on the end of there. That would grip that, and that would go up and down. And you would think that would work, wouldn't you? But it's not going to work, because as this moves, it pulls away. There has to be a certain amount of movement for this to go in and out. I know that exaggerates it, but that's not going to do the trick. But the humble box spanner is going to come to my rescue again. If I weld that onto there, if I weld that onto there, so we've got a sticky out bit there, we put that on the sticky out bit, we get our connection, our bolt, we put it up there. So now that will pivot there, will turn on there because we've welded a nut onto it. Plus, as it moves upwards and away, it will allow this joint to stretch and squeeze, won't it? To keep that all in control, won't it? So we've now got, because just up and down isn't going to do it, because it'll foul, because it needs room to stretch. Because down here it's the same as an arc, really. You know, down here it's in a different position to up there. Do you see? Up there is in the wrong position, down here is in, so I can't fix it there, can I? But I can make it expand, can't I? Because it's not pushing or pulling in this case, it's just going up and down, which is making the corner turn, isn't it? So I think yet again the humble box spanner is going to keep us out of trouble. Yeah, what did we decide? Yeah, that way. The humble box spanner, or a version of it, is going to keep us out of trouble. Because I've got to move that anyway, because that's fouled. It's fouled down there. So I've got to change the whole thing, but it doesn't matter because I've got room to move. Yeah. Put that. Use the box spanner. Then I'll have movement. Blimey. I told you these box spanners come in handy, didn't I?
So a simpler way to do it would be just putting an elongated hole on it. But how much movement are you going to lose? You know, that's going to reach plenty, isn't it? That's going to, you know, as it comes down it'll do this, and as it goes up it'll do that. The only problem you've got is all the time you're losing movement, aren't you? You've got to push this further and further because you're going to lose distance here, and on the other side you're going to lose distance if you don't do it correctly. So maybe just an elongated hole would be a simpler way of doing it. Well, cut this off, weld the edge of this onto the edge of that. It's another solution, isn't it? It's another solution. I'm going to go this, I'm going to cut this in half, turn it into two little plates. So that would go there, look. That would go there. And as this goes up and down, yeah, as this goes up and down, which then operates that, because this top one's going to be a fixed link, so there won't be any play in this. That'll be a fixed link across from there to there, and then we do the same affair here. Yeah, and I don't think we'll lose too much movement because it's moved quite a bit. Yeah, I'm going to cut this, turn this into two little plates. So how do you make a thing that goes around the corner into two little flat plates? Well, all you do is simply cut the corner out, cut another line down here. You've got two little flat plates, rather than cut the middle and then having this hang on there, look. So just cut the complete corner out. Yeah. So bye-bye corner. Hello, two little flat plates. Woohoo! So the other reason to use a little flat plate is you can clamp it, test it. Then we can mark it and weld it if we need to. So you can clamp it first, sort of test the idea, make sure that it's going to work. Yeah. So we'll do the other side now, and then that should give us the measurement from over there to over here, and then we can make that bar, can't we? And come back here. So put another one of those now here. So if this goes up, that means that comes inwards. So if we did it like that, and that would push inwards, that would take that down, wouldn't it? So we need to swap that around. We need to mount this slightly higher and run everything from below. So then if we had this one dangling down, that would push that up. Yeah, so this would go up, that shaft would come this way, this shaft would receive it from this way, which would then push that way, which would then push that upwards. Yeah, so we need to move that up slightly, work this one from above and work this one from below. So when the shaft, the fixed shaft from there goes to here, it pushes, doesn't it? Which will then push up the lock this side. Yeah, that's in the wrong place. We need to go up a bit. So this is part of the fun. A solution creates a problem because that is too high. That's fouling on there, and I think they go level, so I don't think it'll even stand a nut there, because these go underneath to stop the door getting popped off. So we're going to have to come down to here now, make another hole. Have a look at that. So that's part of the fun. You know, one solution creates another problem. Come in for a bite of lunch. Stand back with the heat. Look, baguettes. Woo-hoo-hoo! Hee-ho, hee-ho, hee-ho! With nice cheese.
$2.59.
And sausage casserole for later. Oh, so I'm going to make this film number 1 and we'll carry on with film number 2 because otherwise it'll be too long. Look at this. Assume the position. Ready, it's on the spot. Ready for painting. It's had a wash. So we're going to paint it. And I'm waiting. Hey, Deb, Stephen's got a present for me.
Oh, God.
Stephen's seen something. And he said, Reggie, how much? Shall I buy it? So I've told him, yeah. So Stephen's going to bring me a present.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What has he bought?
I said to him, not another bloody gnome. No, he said, no. So it's not another gnome.
No, because you don't do nothing. It's me that does the hard work for the gnome.
We do the gnome. There's no I in team, and we're a team. Good for an expert like you. But then I said, this is going to be... There's a strap there, look, and the dog brown has got to be a different brown to the rabbit brown. And look, the dog's got lips and a black nose. The rabbit's got lips, yeah. Wow, I think this is going to be... What's that under there? I think this is going to be more detailed, actually.
No, that's easier.
Do you think this is easier? Why? What makes you think it's easier? There's more to it, isn't there?
Because I'm a professional now.
Fingernails, yeah. It made a difference. The sculpture sculptured the fingernails, but it just painting the fingernails made a difference, made it stand out. Oh, is the rabbit alive or dead?
He's dead.
He's dead. He's got one eye working there and that's shut. Is he half dead?
He's dead.
He's dead, okay. Rabbit's going to be dead.
He's been shot, hasn't he?
Well, I can't see no bullet holes. Anyway, he's been shot because, look, his gun is there, look. His gun, this is his gun, look. Oh, remember, he's got a strap. Strap holding the gun and a strap holding the bag. Do you think it's going to be easier? I don't think so.
It's a bit of a broken gun because his gun's
Well, you know, it's Disneyland. But, oh, how are you going to do this eye in there? Wow. He's got a black patch there, look. The surface seems to change, you know, as if this has been facing the weather or the snow or something. Look, this is you can see here, look, see the edge. This is much rougher than this.
It's because the paint cone has come off, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it probably, it's been facing, the weather's been facing it. Because the back is in pretty good nick, really, isn't it? Unless it's been up against a wall or something. Who knows? So I think the detail of this, you're going to have to get the detail just right. With the doggy lips and a different brown and, of course, the white at the front. What? All right, Mrs. Expert. And I don't know why this is whiter and that's greyer.
He's going to have a grey beard anyway. I haven't got enough white.
And his face is going to come... Why does his face come all the way down here, look?
Because he's grown a beard like you grow.
What?
Just, it grows underneath his chin, not on his face.
The eye, you're not going to touch the eyes, are you? You might clean them up. Whoever did these made some really good eyes, knew how to do eyes.
It was done with a factory, wasn't it, Reggie?
Got an ear, yeah. Oh, it's a spotty dog?
It's not going to be a spotty dog.
No? Anyway, let's have a look then. Let's see how you get on.